Okay, good evening, my friend. Tonight I just got a little bit start with the brand new kit, which is the Great War Hobby Su-27 aka as the Franca C, heavy fighter. And I just got introduced some of the very small, very silly review on with my speaking Japanese, and I think many of the people cannot understand what the hell am I talking about, right? Because that was not English at all. But actually, this kit has already released, and the past, I think the November, yeah, I think in some case, there are a lot of the kit review on the internet. So if you are trying to search, maybe uh, this is highly recommend to check the other site. You know, um, it's just because I can't see the whole things in a very short record. So sorry about that. And as I could tell, I think the fitting is pretty intense, very nice. There are no gaps on it. You know, between a fuselage and engine pot is pretty steady to fit. Even maybe if you are a very good hand, builder, maybe you can separately paint, and then you can um, glue it after paint, because I think the fitting is pretty nice, so you don't have to fill in some kind of the gaps with using with the some sort of putty or whatsoever. So maybe the side of the things that which is very hard to paint after you glue the parts, something like this and this, you know, some case, this is very hard to paint because of the corner of the part itself makes the airbrush mist can easily stick on it. So you need to sometimes you need to get avoid with that with the masking tapes or whatsoever. So once you paint this side, maybe the other side of the engine pot can have very sandy surface, right? Maybe some of you have already have some kind of experience before, which is very, very annoying work. So, avoiding this kind of problem, the one things I just can recommend you is, the first time you just cover with the masking tape first, the side of the engine pot, and then you paint the bottom side of the fuselage, and then the other time you just tear off the masking tape from the engine pot, and then you just put the masking tapes on the fuselage, and then glue it again to avoid some kind of very misty and sandy surface because of the airbrush pressure. If the pressure is very high, there are a lot of mist go around there, so it makes a problem with that. But the another way I can suggest is, you just separately paint, this side and this side, and then you paint this side and this side, and then you just glue it. It makes more easy. But the problem is normally it does have some kind of the fitting problem, right? So if the gap has so obvious, so serious, you know, you need to sand it or you need to fix it after you paint, right? So normally I don't take these kinds of techniques, but procedure. But I think in this case, this is possibly can do that because the um, fitting is, brilliant. So maybe you have some kind of choice as an option, okay? And I think the other things that maybe I should mention about is I think not really. I think this is pretty good kit, and it doesn't have any no noticed about that. I think the all the things are very nice because according from the information, uh, the developer has some great encourage to produce it. So you can, I think the even you are not familiar with the aircraft model, maybe very easy to build it anyway. And the other things, the other things, this is the intake inlet intake part, as I can see, and this is the separate part. So maybe once you glue it together, maybe you need to sand it inside of the intakes, right? So some case you need to concentrate on it a little bit because I think that most of the aircraft has some kind of task to do, so it doesn't have so much problem with that if you are really familiar with the building aircraft whatsoever. And the following to instruction, I think the construction process itself is pretty understandable. Nothing, nothing difficult at all, I think. And actually, as you can see, the instruction itself is written by the basically the 3D images, computer aided design 3D images. So it is not illustration. So some case, some people are very hard to understand how to glue it, how to build it. But I think if the part itself has some kind of the guide to the glue, very easy to understand to fix it, to glue it. So it doesn't have so much problem with that. If the part itself is has kind of idea to let the people understand more easily using by some guide or some a little bit whole or um, the part itself should be glued very correctly, leading by some kind of the uh, sign on a kit itself. But it doesn't have. Maybe you need to imagine how it's gonna be to glue it, right? Even if the instruction itself is very hard to understand, and also it doesn't have any guidance or sign of line or some kind of holes or you know very attention point on the kit itself. It's very hard to which one is which, very confusing. But it's really up to the kit. you know Sometimes it's very hard to understand. There is no instruction, there is no point of guidance of the kit. So, but usually, if you are really familiar with the, especially the very specific aircraft, if you really, for example, if you know about the Su-27 very well, maybe it can help you to fix it. But this is the first time for you. This is the first time for me. I never built Su-27 before. It's very hard task. It's gonna be so. That is the really tends to the kit makers are encouraged, right? And this is the weapon guide. I don't think there is a lot of plenty of the weapon kit inside because I don't think it. It's a pretty simple missiles and the rocket pod and the long-range missiles, double mount. Yeah, I think this kit is probably aims to the air-to-air combat or very light battle attack for the ground using by some kind of rocket pod. It doesn't have any bomb, so maybe you can try to find the other third part which has some kind of the bombs or some the missile of the very special purpose, and if you want. But in this case, the weapon itself is something like this. Not so many. But if you don't mind, maybe it doesn't have to be. But I just mentioned to you. And this is the I think for China. And the other things is basically Ukraine and Russia. Yeah, I think there is the 5 different types of the aircraft. You can choose it. Right. This is Russia. This is Ukraine, Russia, and each of the color reference shows you to use the different combination of the color itself. So if you once you're have already decided which one is do you want to make it, maybe you need to prepare to mix the original color you're gonna be. So there is a very um, big difference of the color choice between Russian and Ukrainian. So the basic color is completely different. Some are the same, but maybe you need to check from the real images or some kind of information from the internet. Okay, and actually I am going to make the different type, which is the digital camouflage flanker. You know, so I don't have to follow this instruction. I just following with the um, Galaxy model are masking tapes, masking decals. I am going to use it. So I need to provide the different color completely. So I just make some color reference and then correct the some kind of pictures which the book doesn't have it of the detail. So I just correct it from the internet. It really helps me to understand what to do, which color do I have to use it, and very nice scrap reference. So maybe I think you should prepare some kind of things before you build, before you paint. You don't have to amaze, and you don't have to take so long time to check it. It makes your reading time of the building and paintings very shortly. So I think this is a nice idea. And basically, I just correct some available colors, which is very close to the actual digital camouflage color, according from the pictures, but it's not accurate, but very close. It's not the same, but I need to make my own color, adding with some white or light gray or whatsoever. And I need to regulate to mature color. So I just test it, and I think the deepest blue should be more a little bit dark and fresh. So maybe I will check the other color. So maybe I will change the blue, the deepest blue. And this is the lower fuselage color, and this is the middle class blue color. And this is pretty mature, but maybe I might be changed by the other issues, when I found the other information. But temporarily, this is it. Okay, back to the back to the review. This is the radome. Nothing, And actually, if you can see the shape of the line, starting with the nose to the rear of the wing, I think the figure itself is pretty accurate. I mean, the wing itself is not completely flat, right? So it have a little bit curve, and the wing itself is a little bit back side up and front side down. That is the way of the aerodynamic makes the very effective ability of the aircraft. So this is pretty nice shape, I think. If I put with the down fuselage, maybe you can see a little bit more clear, right? This is the temporary fixing, so this is not this is not perfect, but you can see a little bit curved line here, and I think this is pretty nice. I think not competitive. I think one of the best Su-27 kit ever released. I think Greater Hobby has nice try. Actually, when I went to the Shanghai about 2 years ago, actually I met the CEO of the Great World Hobby, Mr. Ring, and we have some dinner, and we talk about the some kind of interesting things a little bit, and he is the very passionate man. And actually, he said he was used to live in Japan when he was young, I think couple of years, and he spent the couple of years in Japan, and he learned basic issue of the industrial method of the Japanese style. So he's pretty understand how the Japanese industrial things aims to. So he's pretty wise man, I think. And this is the cockpit section. As you can see, there are very little rivet here, and this is a very tiny mold here, and there are very little molds and rivets, or some kind of attention point, which is I don't know what it is, but Some case there are very, very, very little and tiny part, accent here. So maybe you need to, very take care about that. Maybe sometimes you may misunderstand. Oh, this is a, unnecessary thing. So just to get take away, or but actually, that was the very, necessary thing. So maybe you need to carefully check to cut from the spruce, and you already take care of the glue it very correctly. For example, if you are dealing with the Tamiya kit, the Tamiya kit is pretty tight and very accurate. So even if the paint itself is so thick, the constructions, things makes that is a little bit makes some kind of mistake of the accurate to build it because of the thickness of the color paint makes the very serious gaps to fix the whole things because the kit itself is very accurate and tight. So you know at least you need to check and glue it very correctly and try to make the paint very thin, not so thick. Always some kind of things may happen in many times. So, and this is the vertical wing according by the panel line. So once you glue it into here, the you don't need to care about so much of the panel line because the kit itself is cut with the following with the panel line. So once you glue it, it's automatically finished. You don't have to do anything, right? So all the sections, not all the sections, but some section it has encouraged to make the unnecessary apply line. This to fix it. I mean, if the part itself is following with the panel line, just you can just finish it. But if it doesn't have it, you need to fill in the gaps and sand it all, and the lines should be disappear, right? But in that case, I think it's well considered. Well considered. So actually, I just waiting for some other stuffs to start the building. So maybe the construction itself will begin next year because this is the 27th of the December this year. So 2020 will be over. Sooner or later. So I think many of country of you are very serious virus problem, and in Japan we have also we have the the patient is growing, and day by day. I think the 800, 900 per day. So I think the serious situation will be continued to until even in the next year. So maybe you should stay safe, and you really take care of your health. And I hope all of you can enjoy your life, and someday maybe if the things are or things, the thing itself is all solved, maybe I can go overseas again, and we can meet again. Okay. And as I can see, there is a pretty small part which is I don't know about which part is it. I think this is cockpit part, I think. And this is the other side of the air intake, air brake. So this side is pretty miserable, right? So this part, I think, fix it to here, so the accurate itself is more like more increase, I think. Yeah. And I think if you really are interested in this kit, Great Hall Hobby Su-27UB, maybe you can get in your market. It has already released. So I don't know how much it does it cost about, but in Japan I just spent, I think, 100 $120, I think, nearly. Not much, but I think over 100. And as you can see, this is the cockpit part. I just introduced the past video, so I just quit. And another things. Oh, you can. This is the air intake part. It should be fixed into this one right here, right? So in this case, this is the open side, and this is the closed side. So you can choose. I prefer to choose the open side because this is pretty nice figure. So yeah. If the technically speaking, this is the the amount of the air provides the engine power. So something like that. So air intakes are always very interesting part when I building the aircraft model. So if the engine itself is pretty big, the inlet of the intake should be much bigger than small one, right? So even if the inlet of the intake is big enough, they need much more air, right? So in case of that, they suck the air to from the other window to earn the much power to burn the fuel. So this is the just a very technical point, technically speaking. Okay, that is the. This is another cockpit part because the UV, as you can see, UV is the double seat. So it has the I think this is a real seat. Right. So the mold itself is brilliant, pretty nice. So basically, speaking, I don't feel to have some other third part, which is resin or other third party detail part. It doesn't need to, I think. Maybe only if you have only the kit, maybe you will have very wonderful and brilliant and intense result of the kit. So this kit have some kind of advantages, I think. It's very worth. Yeah, it's pretty worth. And the another things that maybe this is pretty hard to say about that, but I can say the plastic, the strength of the plastic. I mean, some plastic kit is very, very hard and very, strong. But if I compare with that, maybe the strength of the plastic, I mean, soft or hard, I mean, is very close to the present Tamiya kit. Not so hard, not so soft, very easy to cut, very easy to sand. Just because the brand new kit is usually has very soft strength because this is brand new one. If the time passed, the plastic itself will be a little bit rust. So sometimes the plastic will be a little bit harder than before. But in this case, this is pretty brand new one. So the plastic is pretty very easy to handle. Not so hard. So easy to cut. So easy to do everything. So I think this is a nice point. And I don't see any annoying sandy surface on it, but which is pretty smooth and clean. I think the engineering is pretty engineering process is pretty success, right? I don't see any annoying sandy things even in a fuselage. Very nice and smooth because I just wash the whole things with the kitchen soap to get the oil to demold away. So this is the original surface, not covered with the oil. I just wash the things, so it's very clean and shine very well. And even you have very small details on it. Very nice, very nice. I have the Su-35S, released by the Great War Hobby. I just got, I think, a couple of years ago. I think the quality itself is very similar, but I think some case the mold itself, which is like panel line, is a little bit much deeper than before. So I think it has some kind of improvement they did. But I think the details or some kind of information about the real things is I think basically the same issue. But the technical of the engineering of the plastic model have very pretty improving. Okay, next time I just got tell you about the another process. So stay tuned and have a nice year. Okay, bye bye.